What's going on, everyone? It's me, Clef, with Papa Daka starting here. Overwatch Contenders Fall Series Korea. How are you doing, Papa Daka? Let's get it ready and rolling for playoff day number 2.
It is so good to be here, of course, with UG Cliff. I mean, it is unfortunate that, yes, Apara could not make it in today. He, unfortunately, is not sick. Is sick. Is not well. So we do wish him a speedy recovery, of course. But yeah, I mean, I'm all dressed up, ready to go. I haven't worn a suit and tie for a very long time. We have a matching
suit. I mean, I'm pink. You have the blue. Right? It's a perfect match.
I cleaned myself up a little bit. Don't look too bad. And these games coming ahead as today, G Cliff, in the semi-finals, they don't look too bad either.
Yeah, it's day number 2. After we have 2 teams dropping down, we only have actually 4 teams remaining now in Korea. It's unbelievable after all these weeks. And we're going to say goodbyes to 2 more teams tonight, as we're going to have the 2 finalists from Korea. What an exciting time to be here right now, Papa Doc.
And I have to say, these 4 teams are definitely big favorites as well. So no matter either these 2 teams that will get knocked out today, it will be a very sad departure, no matter who they will be. I mean, for one thing, Dreamers, which I know that Apara, that's his team, you know, so he'll be barracking for them, of course. So yeah, if they go home, I don't know, I don't know if I'll hear the end of it.
Are you already calling it?
I don't know. I don't want to call it too early. I don't want to call it because Poker Face is so strong has done so well at the moment. I mean, they've had to verse incredibly hard teams to make it all the way to the semis. And on paper, if we look through their match history, Poker Face have been winning against Dreamers. But now that we're coming into the full series, yeah, it's all a bit up in the air.
And also, because these teams were in a different group, Group A and Group B, they really had to face against each other. Because now coming down to the playoff, now some teams actually having a history against each other, some teams not really. That's Poker Face, Dreamers, comparatively, and slightly different for SPG and XERO. These 2 teams actually fought against each other in the summer series and previously before. So somewhat difference of a story, but it's going to be rather really good, exciting 2 matches regardless.
Oh, yeah. I mean, SPG and XERO, both teams in their own right, they will be our first matchup tonight. And XERO, need I say more, they did a spectacular job to take Poker Face early and then just give them that massive boost so that they had a little bit of a rest. They didn't have to play through the quarterfinals. It's their first map choice as well. So they'll be starting off really, really strong. And I mean, SPG, they've had it they've had a bit rough, you know, no 3-0s, a lot of 3-1s, some even 3-2s, some really close games leading into this one. Whereas XERO, okay, yes, they dropped their match, though, against SPG. But other than that, they're looking really, really strong themselves. So, yeah, having lost against SPG before, it's... On paper, it's gonna be a tougher one, but XERO this season have just come out flying, and they haven't dropped a single game.
Yeah, that's the thing. In history, just a few months ago, they did lose a couple of games against SPG, specifically against SPG only, if I remember, and also not just once, twice. So it's gonna come to bite them. But they went through a roster change, so they made some changes within the scenes, and that's exactly why they're having a 4-0 win streak during the groups. So clashing against each other should be extra fun with some extra history in there too. Some things to spice it up, and I think we're getting ready to see that overview. Let's check that out.
Yes, so of course we went through our group stages to begin with Group A and Group B round robins, and here we are finally into the playoffs where we are sitting right now in the semi-finals.
And after the semi-finals, which we will take a look at the schedule real soon, we will have 2 teams saying we have to say goodbyes to 2 teams, and the 2 finalists will be going up to the grand finals after tonight. So very exciting times. We are going to be finding out who's finishing 3rd, 4th today, and also the 2 finalists who's going to be going up against each other in that grand finals. So the pretty long week 1, 2, and 3 for Fall Series Korea, and we're finally here.
finally here, and I mean grand finals as well. It's in person, it's in LAN. We're having it in a stadium with fans, and I mean that puts even more pressure, I'm sure, than the players are feeling right now. Speaking of which, these are our matches coming up today. We have to begin with, SPG versus XERO, and then finishing off with Pokerface versus Dreams to see who can be those two teams that go ahead into the grand final. So, G-Cliff, we're starting with SPG, Sin Pereza Gaming, versus XERO. How are we looking at this matchup?
It's tough. It's tough. XERO, they took a longer break because they did get perfect match score from the groups. But the thing is, SPG... I do want to pinpoint on certain players, but it's really hard because they have their ups and downs. But XERO also took a longer break, so they might not be as warmed up, is what I'm trying to say. So I think until we actually open the box and see the real matches, I don't think I can predict the clear winner today from this matchup.
So it seems like we're looking at which brother is the bigger brother, which the eldest player in the team will be coming in, which one can not necessarily carry, but certainly help their team better towards victory here. So the big brother, of course, will be Lee Soo Min for SPG, and then for XERO will be Kilo. So those two will be going head to head tonight. But as you said, SPG, I was talking about XERO having a win streak, but SPG, they've only dropped one game, and that was against Dreamers, and Dreamers are on fire at the moment. So knowing that, okay, we did lose against Dreamers, but we've done really, really well in our round robin stage, that would fill you with a lot of confidence coming into this.
Yeah, I think that's a really good confidence booster, especially as you mentioned already at top of that. SPG actually dropped a couple of maps against the teams that finished 4th and 5th from the group, which does worry me a little bit. But after seeing their play yesterday, I'm pretty sure they have full confidence going up against a very strong opponent, XERO. As you can see, the roster, especially, I've seen the roster a couple of times, so I do want to really highlight all those Tracer from yesterday, which was amazing, literally life-saving plays, and also Milgaru's life-saving play, and also somewhat half of a throwing play at the same time. So I think we really have to keep our eyes on this guy, especially when this guy's on the ball.
Yeah, we loved casting Milgaru on the ball, whether it was on control or especially Flashpoint as well. However, we have been seeing more and more Sigma come out from every team as this meta has started to finish developing, I would say, because, we are now into the back end. I can't really say start to develop anymore. But yeah, here is XERO, and of course, Kilo, the big brother of this team. And I mean, we talk about Tracers. There's a Jwoo Tracer in here as well, if XERO decides to put Jwoo on Tracer, or maybe we'll see them on the Genji instead. And then, of course, Attack will be leading as your tank.
Yeah, of course, Kilo, the hitscan master, will also be... The DPS fight will be incredibly fun. Also, Attack on the tank has been some fierce moments from XERO. So we'll see. As a first pick, XERO's pick, because they did have better result from the group, they will choose Busan out of all the control maps. What do you think about this, Papa?
Yeah, so Busan obviously lends itself to a multitude of compositions. You could run Dive, you can run Brawl, especially on somewhere like Mecha Base, but I would say if Milgaru really wants to lean onto this ball, I think Busan's a pretty good pick to do just that, especially on the really open maps. I have seen even some ball in the more brawly maps, such as, Mecha Base. And then, of course, taking them where the Junker Queen can also be good. Also, you've got Genji for Jwoo, as well as, the BAP, and of course, if you want to run the Lucio as well. But I think this is really good if you do want to mix it up and perhaps go for a bit more of a dive than leaning more into the more pokey maps.
Yes, to follow up, I think XERO picked Busan to kind of check out after watching yesterday's matches from SPG. Depending on each map, they want to test the team comp and also what they're exactly feeling for the day. As we get into our very first, I'm very excited, Papa Doc. Let's see if XERO comes on top or SPG. Swapping things around, coming from the lower bracket.
Yeah, it is so good. Zero rolling out actually attack onto the Orisa, whereas Milgaru, they are going to go on the Sigma. Come on, SPG. No, of course, it would be Aid on the Bastion going up top, getting a kill.
Oh, yes, Aid going up real close. Milgaru really sticking up with the Sigma. Zero might be a little bit surprised not seeing that ball early on. So might be seeing some team comp changes coming up from Zero soon with that Sombra Tracer as they continue to spray and gets one more all the way pushing into near the spawn, and Zero has to regroup now.
I would say Zero was expecting Milgaru to go on the ball. You've got Kilo on the Sombra, and then you got Jaewoo as well to get behind them. But since you are running that Sigma, it's a little bit harder to get into that backline. Jaewoo just having to fall back a little bit as Kilo is trying to get into the backline, but it's these teleporters.
Yeah, with the teleport, keeping the distance short enough, and Zero falling all the way back. Arhyun does get caught in the back, so that's going to be one dropping down already. Attack also isolated, and SPG is just sweeping the floor with all the kills alone.
Yeah, I mean, Jaewoo did manage to pick up Aid, but it just simply will not be enough. And this entire time, SPG G-Cliff had the point. So already 35%, building up to a couple of ultimates with the Ant Matrix especially that will... Oh, hang on, is Kilo looking for that kill? That would be very cheeky if you could get that one quickly. Jaewoo, though, with the Pulse Bomb looking to get a cheeky pick themselves as Attack not quite sure where to move their team up, especially now you got to worry about that TP.
TP is trying to get one at a time, and they end up going for that backline support again. Okay, the point being flopped to Zero because of the Tracer, but the entire team fight has been lost already. SPG still keeping everything. Okay, there's that Pulse Bomb. Okay, Jaewoo, you do your thing, but your team is already gone.
Yeah, in fact, it's honestly, you got all though, but they can just TP back. Okay, SPG, they won't be able to be as aggressive for this next fight, but the EMP will be aggressive.
Man, here's the EMP Kilo trying to follow up, but where's the follow-up damage? Was that EMP not enough? Here's the Matrix, and still keeping up with the attack. Has to fall all the way back, which is never a good sign when you're playing Orisa.
No, as the Flux comes out, does get up Crescent, but they pop Captive Sun G-Cliff. I don't know if this is going to come to much, but as long as they're staying alive, but Attack's the one to fall, now Kilo too, and this is curtains at the moment for them.
It looks like it's 677. SPG, they did lose Milgaru, still using a lot more ultimates, willing to spend a little more extra. Actually, that is going to cancel it early. Zero, they still have to regroup, still did lose Hilari on the back. Halo finding the kill early. This might be a comeback for Zero, hold on.
I think so too. Pulse Bomb in the back doesn't catch anything, but both teams don't really have ults. However, although does have that Photon Barrier, which would block so much damage. At the moment, though, Zero did manage to get the point in their favor at least.
Yeah, still 96% for SPG. There's a barrier right in the middle. And choosing to go half, but does manage to fall all the way on the back, trying to catch one. So that's 1-1 traded. Actually, slightly going 8. When did he actually transfer into that soldier early on? So Zero still has a tag, which who always seems isolated on his own, by the way, because of all these teleporters happening. 99%.
Yeah, it seems like Zero is struggling to find a way onto this point, especially as it is overtime right now. 99% Zero. They need to touch this last second.
Oh, everyone just fighting on their own all the way away, and that no one's touching the ground, and SPG will grab the first control on Busan. Zero could not really stand a chance.
No, that was rough for Zero. They were trying something new with that Tracer Sombra, something that we saw a couple of times in the full series, but was so prevalent if you just go back one more series to the summer, and especially in the spring when Winston was super popular. And Kilo's EMPs, they got a lot of people, but Attack was never really there to follow up. In fact, Attack was one of the people that died quite often early into that fight because of Aid going onto the Bastion, then onto the Soldier, putting so much pressure on them that Kilo couldn't get the picks that they would want. As we're coming out, this time Aid is on the Widow. Kilo and Jaewoo, though, they still want to run this Sombra Tracer, but there's nothing to really shut down Aid on the high ground.
Yeah, they're still expecting the ball to come out from Milgaru, but that's not going to be his hero for today so far. That's
come
Sombra
on.
50-50. Let's see, Milgaru. I know he's always got that wrecking ball on the back. So although in the air now with the Widow, which actually kills a lot of angle, a lot of distance away from Zero to actually rotate with that Tracer Sombra. So let's see, taking the ground for sure now. SPG in control, and they will grab the first few percentages as Sombra gets headshotted immediately. Aid, what a shot from distance.
I think fine. Yeah, Zero, they're switching it up a little bit. Kilo now onto the Sojin. It's a very good Sojin Kilo. The big brother needs to come through again. Hasn't been doing great, but attack, that's a good pick for Zero. SPG might have to fall back here over Jwoo did fall, G-Cliff.
Oh, losing a Tracer right now seems very risky because they were just about to have their all rolling here. Zero still keeping it handy. Orisa attack. Still holding it strong. The heals coming through from the back. There's a mentality field gone immediately. SPG, they're kind of on the push. But although dropping will be big. Crescent also lost. So both DPS gone from SPG. Lacking the damage. Only Milgaru Uchan left. It'll just be Orisa now. I mean, there's that Sigma. Might have to change that a little bit now.
Maybe Milgaru will switch, but they're close enough to Flux where you can kind of see yourself staying. Wu Chan and Lee Soo Min, of course, they also have their both support ults for this next fight, but really all eyes should be on Zero here on this defense. They have almost every ult bar the overclock from Kilo. So, I mean, attack. There's the pulse bomb. Doesn't get anything, but does draw out immortality field.
The field on a pretty good cooldown. The Terra Cert is going to do some damage, but not enough to kill anyone because there's that support with the rally plus the Matrix from Uchan and Lee Soo Min. Really quick to attack to respond against few ultimates. Already dropped, actually 3 out of 5 dropped from Zero. Nice response from SPG, not losing anyone even if that dropped.
Yeah, the rally from, you'd see why we're picking the Brig, it's that Brig versus Alari matchup here, and it seems that the Brig been really close to the Sigma, drawing Zero away from Milgaru, because then you've got a Brig in your face to worry about. Milgaru now with the Flux for this next fight, they didn't have to commit so many ults, however Kilo does have that overclock now for this next fight, and I mean, these soldiers have been so good.
Oh, Kilo needs to do a lot more power slides the way it barely keeps his life. No, never mind. Milgaru picks the kill up. Aid leading into headshot. Okay, Crescent managed to kill a little bit from the counter, but both DPS gone. Zero, they can't really do much. SPG responding so quickly every single time.
Yeah, they're really quick to adapt, right? Although, gone onto the Tracer, already built up a Pulse Bomb, and A2 with an overclock does get shut down though, G-Cliff.
Oh, Kilo keeping it handy. That Sojourn Tracer DPS war is still happening. Here's Jwoo, who's going to win this Tracer 1v1, although taking some damage, blinks away, and with a bit of help from the Sigma off to the side, I guess Jwoo wins at the end of the day.
That was actually well played from Zero, however, they will have to pretty much hold this point for the entire duration. SPG got to 95% through all that, and they're not too good on ults. Aid's just switched off the Sojin over back to the Bastion that we saw in the first map, but that Pulse Bomb does get shut down just from that immortality field. But again, you kind of have to be careful of your approach now. You do not have that ability anymore, and especially with attack. They do have that Flux in their back pocket if they need it, and they're going to use it immediately.
Attack. We're going to use it on Milgaru only. Can you really focus it at the right time? Let's see, as damage is coming through still through the Matrix. Okay, Milgaru Uchan going down. It seems like Zero will be able to grab the second and turn things around. SPG only one left, although just drops onto the ground. No Tracer, and that is Zero now taking one back, tying things up.
No, Zero played that well. They had to really slow down the fight, really build up their ultimates on their side like that Flux, and to be able to build... There was no immortality field for this Flux for SPG to say, no, you do not kill our tank. Instead, it's like, oh no, Milgaru, it's just a feast. for you, Zero. As, yeah, now we've evened it up. 1-1. And, oh, G-Cliff, we're getting it. It's the ball. Milgaru is back. But Kilo,
Finally.
expecting this, though, has gone over to the Sombra. However, we have seen Milgaru before dodge and duck Sombras. They're going to have to here as we are all tied up. 1-1 to take Busan. Remember, this is Zero's pick here too, so we're expecting something big here.
Yeah, indeed. As Widow off to the side has been spotted. Aid. Let's see. Oh, Milgaru finds an early kill onto Laurie all of a sudden. Okay, that seems like a tank snipe coming down. SPG now with that having a lot more support from the back. Unless Kilo and Jehu make some assassination off to the side, which is certainly not happening.
It's a lot of poking at the moment, but all of a sudden SPG came alive and they were able to take out all the DPS. Jehu, though, getting aid in the back, but it will not be for much here as Milgaru, despite the Sombra from Kilo, was not shut down at all. As, Lee Soo-min has, and is on Nakiri and Wu-chan on the Alari instead of the Brig, because it is a little bit more open. You need to be able to poke and also teleport to Milgaru as well when they're in the backline and in trouble. Attack kind of on his lonesome on the low ground there. Does have to be careful.
It does have to be careful, as we have seen Attack being isolated a couple of times when it was not on Sigma on Orisa before. So here's Attack trying to absorb a little more damage. Jehu has to come alive in order for the team to win, although those go down. So extra Tracer for Zero at the moment. Milgaru will be the second to fall. Still holding that Pulse Bomb. I don't think it's needed at the moment, as the rest of the SPG will fall immediately. So Zero finally turning some point and getting some percentages on their field. 10% now.
You and I were talking about the Tracers. We were talking about how we were going to see the matchups, how awesome both of them are. And at the moment, Jehu, and although they are not disappointing us, both of them have the Pulse Bomb. Yeah, I know. They have the Pulse Bomb this fight as well. I mean, obviously you'd want to get it onto a support, right? But Amplification Matrix making it hard for SPG to push in at the moment. It's a very slow, drawn-out fight, which is perfect for Zero.
And Milgaru's drawing all the attention. There's a driver, not really going to find anyone. Lee Soo-min going to pop that early on. Pulse Bomb does not go in. Find any kill from Aldo or Jehu, both of the teams. There's a Captive Sun from Crescent, and also Uchan, both of the supports. And Attack goes down early on. Aid keeping up really high. Kilo doing slightly better as Milgaru responds immediately back. DPSs are actually having a tough time against all these. And then the minefield comes out from no one. Comes into the control zone. Only I get to have all the fun. That's what Milgaru is saying.
Just backing out here, Milgaru falling exceptionally low there. Attack, though, they did fall quite early into that fight, but they're back and with a flux as well. But if you've noticed, SPG, they don't exactly play together. So really, if you are popping this, you're only going to pick up one. Milgaru gets Crescent. Lee Soo-min nearly gets the back of Hyun.
Yeah, and Jehu keeps on finding a kill onto the opponent Tracer. Surprisingly, and although he's having a very tough time managing the opponent Tracer as well. So here's Zero now pushing. Might not even need to use the last bit of ultimates as SPG. Oh, that was a cheeky little play from Izumi to get extra percentage there. But it is going to be 80 to 65 now. Zero slowly coming back into this game.
Very, very slowly, but that's what Zero would want for this last fight. It's happened in the second one, happened in downtown. It was so slow that SPG couldn't even touch the point. Milgaru, of course, now that they are on board, will find it a little bit easier, but 80% here, it's evened up both sides. They need to take this fight well, SPG, to remain in contention.
That's right, SPG. How are they going to be going in? It's getting close, but a lot more ults from Zero early on usage. The overclock and the window already up. Lee Soo-min goes down. Here's Kilo looking for more kill. And the Tracer has to recall away. Now with the Captain Sun, finds no target, and Crescent actually takes him down immediately. Oh, SPG is not really finding their time. 99%, we're in the overtime. Zero keeping it up, but not that many members from SPG are left. And that is it.
Zero They took Busan. It was their map choice. It started out a little bit rocky there on Mecha Base, but they cleaned up their act really quickly too, and especially in downtown, and they were looking really strong there. And it was unfortunate. I mean, Milgaru's ball did work pretty well, but Jaewoo on that tracer. I mean, we were talking about although, but Jaewoo consistently got into the backline, consistently forced out major cooldowns like that BAP lamp, and then that's when XERO, when they did eventually push, no BAP lamp for SPG, and they really struggled to stay alive. And yes, their composition from SPG, they had to be split apart, try and focus you from different angles, and that can be scary, but XERO did such a good job of just navigating that, picking and choosing their targets really well and shutting XERO completely down. Sorry, SPG completely down. Wrong team well entirely.
Yeah, we could tell which team you were talking about anyhow, but XERO really coming back strong too. Kind of waking up late in Busan, but it's still the first map, and they were able to grab that second point and third point. So we'll see how this goes, because Busan did go in favor of XERO as SPG. I think they really needed that first map to actually win in this first to three. But that is going to be for the first map. When we come back, we will have our map number 2. That will be hybrid. And welcome back, everyone, to day number 2, our first match of the Nightfall Series Korea. It's me, Clef, and Papa Doc. I know. Everything fine over there?
The mic sounds a bit strange, but that's okay. Maybe it's just my end. Oh, no, everything is perfectly fine. I mean, we've got XERO and SPG. XERO taking the first map there. And pretty commanding, that third map there that we saw, but now it's SPG's pick. And as you said, it's hybrid. Now, we saw lots of Kings Row yesterday, G-Cliff, with you and
That's
Unknown. Right. But now we're coming into a new day. We've got, of course, Midtown. We've seen a lot of Midtown, and then and we might go back to Kings Row like we saw yesterday. Or do we pay the price of admission, and will we see some Blizzard World? I think we've really seen it once, maybe twice this entire series.
Oh, man.
It surprised me if maybe we don't see it.
Yeah, Blizzard World has not been really popular at all, which, okay, brings us to Midtown, and you head down as SPG's pick, which does signal a lot more ball and Sigma play for both of the side, as we're not really going into that Kings Row at all. So I wonder what SPG is thinking at the moment. You drop your first map against XERO. It was close, and the second and the third from Busan was also early capture from SPG, and they kept on losing the later fights when Jaewoo really kicked in hard. So I wonder what kind of feedback they actually had to lead into this Midtown pick in second map.
Yeah, I mean, how do you shut down Jaewoo? And it's not like you're just going to shut him down by going Torbjorn or something like that. Maybe that's something that they try and do. Haven't seen too much Torbjorn in the Korean Contenders side. Seen a bit more in the APAC. But this is where we might see them coming out on a Genji or somewhere where it is that sort of longer range. It's where we're seeing a little bit more of that Widow, Hanzo, and of course the Sojin. With even a teleporter has been kind of popular at the moment. But it seems like on the defense, Jaewoo instead going over to the Echo pick there, which will help the hallway shut down that Crescent will be wanting to do. And Kilo going over to the Sojin themselves to build up that railgun. And look, I know I don't want to speak too quickly for the attack here, G-Cliff, but Milgaru on a Reinhardt with although teleporting them around would be a hell of a lot of fun, but I think it will be Milgaru instead going over to the Sigma. However, although we'll stick onto the Sim, which we have been seeing more often here, is just to dodge a lot of that poke, a lot just so that you can bypass it entirely there into the apartment or into that hallway. So it'll be interesting to see how they want to play it.
Sigma early pusher with although pushing all the way forward into the line. Attack getting focused really quickly and brought down even through the field. Because they're isolated, they couldn't really handle the pressure. But in the meantime, which means that Kilo and Joe can just do free damage off to the side and collect all the way up to 51% in just one fight. And Jay was still having 46% now at SPG. They had the right plan, but off to the side, I think they might have still thought that Reinhardt was along with them. Well, that was changed early on.
I think so too. You could see that they were trying to bait with that teleporter. Did shut down attack quickly, but yeah, it just opens up their backside entirely there. As SPG now, though, they are going to path a little bit differently this time round. So they're not going to take main, not do train side again, because of course attack, they'll be very wise to that, as kind of getting poked out a little bit as ults are getting up close, very close. In fact, and Matrix already for Lee Songmin if they do want to pop it. And the big one though is attack and duplicate.
Jill already ready with the Sigma early flux. Did it actually catch? Actually does catch later on, but no further kills as SPG. And XERO keeping it all together. They're making these rotations without too many casualties. So I like this type of play from SPG. All the way into the second floor now. XERO all spread apart. Now here comes, they drop down onto the point. XERO, can they respond perfectly? May still alive, but Kilo finds a kill. Another one with the overclock. And it's continuing. Joe, Kilo, these two DPSs, they're just unstoppable at the moment when they have the distance.
Yeah, these guys are on fire. SPG, as you said, it was good. They waited out the flux. They waited out Jaewoo's duplicate, but they can't stop everything, and they cannot stop Kilo as they have been popping off on this Sojin this entire fall series. And of course, they really had to wake up as the big brother of the group and help. At the moment, their defense is really strong. SPG, though, they're coming back with the Blizzard. They're also very close themselves to their overclock this time round, as they've switched off of the Symmetra. So they're just relying now on Wu-Chan, speeding them through to the apartment once again.
Yeah, slightly faster with the Lucio, as they still have the sound barrier and the Blizzard, but XERO, they're not. Oh, that Busan catching a lot of that coming up from the room. That was a really big misplay from SPG, coming in at the perfect time for XERO. But actually, okay, hold on, Wu-Chan. Although they're finding some kills off of the point, still attack coming in handy to really not let this Lucio go back anyhow. That looked a little too cruel, but it did happen on screen.
It did. I mean, look, it's good. It's good for them because good for XERO, not good for SPG, because this is the final fight, G-Cliff, to take this. They've got a couple of ticks, SPG, but they need more because XERO's attack is, of course, going to be just as strong as their defense. And SPG, this time, they're going to go through the train ride. They've got quite a number of ults for their name, but brutal. Oh,
Jaewoo, early on, really stopping everything and has to drop everything from SPG, really spending everything except for the flux from Milgaru. XERO, they initially made that right block, so bought a lot of time now, ticking in 5 seconds. They need to get extra tick and more. XERO still poking off to the side. As 8 does go down, Killer finds another kill with the railgun from the off to the side. And although drops along with that attack, can survive, and here's still Kilo. Jaewoo, these two DPS, they're just unstoppable, and they're gonna clean house again. SPG not really grabbing even the first point, only 2 ticks. And time runs out.
Yeah, 75.6%. It's something, it's a win condition, but it's certainly not the best win condition SPG could ask for, as, yeah, you said it, Jaewoo and Kilo have been popping off. I mean, Jaewoo is on fire today. We've seen them on the Tracer, we've seen them, of course, on the Echo now, and Kilo, need I say more with this Sojin player at the moment, and Crescent as well. We haven't really been talking too much about them, but they've been very consistent in that kill feed. We saw that Captive Sun earlier as well, which got, I think, all 5 members of SPG, and they've had to, they always have to expend so many of their abilities and their cooldowns in the apartment that by the time they get out, XERO build up very fast ultimates. Like Jaewoo built up a duplicate in 1 fight after being solo altered by all those May. So very highly skilled SPG. They need to answer this. The way that they seem to want to answer it is how they won their first map, Mecha Base, which is Aid back onto the Bastion.
SPG, I think they made really cool rotational play, but the speed was not there. I think XERO had a pretty easy read because the rotation was readable. It was slow enough for them to actually catch all of them. And XERO just having a lot of experience. The shock hole was there all the time. Now that they're on the attack, can SPG respond and block and have this perfect hold, basically? in the remaining 4 minutes now. As Kilo J-Oo's Genji is out present on the field.
Ooh, that's exciting. Love to see a Jwoo Genji attack as back on the Arista as well. So looking to be semi-aggressive, but also because they don't have that Lucio as well, they will have to take the fight naturally a little bit slower. Jwoo just 1v2ing up there at the moment. G-Cliff looking to get a very early pick, but not gonna happen just yet.
Yeah, as we do have a lot of members from SPG spread it apart. XERO, a couple of them in the backside alley, and Jwoo trying to look for the angle to get make an assassination happen as a Genji player. But just getting some neutral fights, some damages in and out, gathering some ults. They're trying to keep them in the corner room.
Poking battle, right, G-Cliff? I mean, it seems like Aid wants to win it as with the help of Milgaru. Kilo does go down.
Yeah, with Kilo going down, XERO. Remaining members in attack again, somewhat alone in the room. Okay, Jwoo, let's find the kill. Will this actually lead them into a better play? Okay, Crescent finds an angle to heal back, attack. Oh, okay, early captive stone, so they want to go all the way in, and that first shot not really do too much there. As Jwoo will come back immediately. Kilo finds the kill onto Uchan. SPG dropping like flies on the control, and this might just be it.
That's it.
That's it. Second map goes to XERO.
That was SPG's map pick, but you would have thought it was XERO's. How well XERO played there on the attack and, of course, on the defense as well. Jwoo, so consistent tonight with the Echo and, of course, that Genji just going in, getting the first picks every single time. And, of course, Kilo helping out as well. Man, SPG, they need to come up with answers here. We're about to go into what could potentially be the final map. Well, it is if it's in XERO's favor here, as match point for XERO. You've got to be very nervous now if you're SPG. As XERO right now, they are unstoppable.
Unstoppable, and attack buying that much time in the room alone with Orisa barely surviving with 1 HP was able to buy so much time for the fallen member to actually come back from the spawn to turn everything around. And SPG said, I think they already kind of knew that they lost the battle already at the moment. It's like, we spent this much time, this much effort and skills, and attack still survived somehow. And that was literally the winning play. Now SPG, I don't know. I don't even know what they can do coming into Flashpoint, because right now XERO seems like they're winning these small wins, which literally snowballs so hard that they are just getting the win off of the map. So that's gonna be the second map, guys. XERO certainly leading big time with a 2-0, and all they need is one more. Can SPG come back in the playoff series? If you don't, you are going to be knocked out. When we come back, we'll have that map number 3, Flashpoint. And welcome back, everyone, to Fall Series Korea. MG Clef with me, Papadaka here, as we are having a 2-0 already. And XERO is trying to speed run this playoff. And can SPG stop them from having this speed run? Right now, it seems like they're unstoppable.
Right, they must have like a very early reservation for dinner. Like, sorry, we don't want to run late. We've been holding this reservation out for a little while. SPG, I'm sorry, we're just going to go all out. And so far, it's been just an absolute trample. SPG, they need to find a way to stop them. Obviously, Flashpoint. Notoriously, we've had a little bit of a run on a running joke throughout this series that Flashpoint it just seems to be that map that just completely flips things on its head. It's where players, a lot of that potential reverse sweeps at the very least, have began. It would not surprise me, without looking at the next map, if we do go into Savasa of casting and looking at what in the past what SPG have picked, it has been that Savasa, so Milgaru can pop off on that ball. It's just a little bit easier than New Junk City, or maybe we will see a Milgaru go onto someone like the Sigma, where you can be a little bit more pokey. It worked really, really well on. There you go. It is Savasa. It worked really
so
well.
It begins.
Yeah, on Mecha Base. So. Got to do it again. Go back to what was working before for SPG. But I could say that, but at the moment, XERO are just on fire right now, especially Kilo and Jwoo.
Yeah, these two DPS line are just unstoppable, and SPG for the last two maps they were not able to find that many, especially after Kilo and Jo. Jo started first, I think. Jo got the ignition on to that engine, and then Kilo had the gas pumping, and the entire team is just 100% alive. And ever since that moment, towards the end of Busan, leading into Midtown, SPG just could not find a solid answer. And it's really hard to catch all these really talented players just keeping their distance away from the team fight, but still managing to pick up kills. And SPG, so they need to come up, make some type of huge play that can actually lead into a kill, or have somewhat of a different team comp, which SPG I don't think they're really capable at the moment of showing like a big change, like a Winston dive comp that we might be able to see, but it's really unlikely because it's SPG.
Yeah, SPG going back to their tried and true, what we've been seeing on Esperanza for a while, which has been Milgaru onto the ball. As I did say, Esperanza, it's actually Savasa. Completely different map. As XERO though, going on to with Kilo, looking for that hack if Milgaru decides to go in, instantly hacked up.
Yeah, early hacks. Finally, Kilo will have one duty to fill, which is to hack Milgaru all the time so it doesn't run away with things and have those easy pile drivers. Also XERO, their entire team just poking away. Milgaru also rolling back away to the team, finding okay time along with that Jehu. Has to be careful even if you are Tracer. Looking for a few of those pylons, and also early attack as a DPS. No further kills yet. And here's Aid also towards the back.
A lot of poking on the point, G-Cliff, at the moment. And just trying to test each other out. I mean, I think the biggest thing will be Jehu taking out, although I was about to say this pulse bomb that's coming up right now. There it is again. Oh, Jehu!
Oh, Jehu is again destroying the entire team of SPG by himself with the shots and the pulse bomb together. XERO. And the Kilo off to the side is saying, hey, if you're doing all the work, what am I doing as a DPS? Well, as you can see, Kilo actually did a lot of damage too, 98%. Of course, the pulse bomb does charge up really fast, so it does come back, and plus 37% already from Jehu, but that just means that SPG has to be careful of this Tracer. Can you lock Jehu down or not? I think it comes down to this on Savasa.
Yeah, Kilo now with that EMP, which would shut down entire SPG fight, but it seems like they want to lead with an artillery strike from A. Doesn't get anything just yet here. SPG looking for a way to come on in, as had to translocate away, it seems like, for Kilo. Captive Sun is out, doesn't get any picks though. So some ultimates are coming out, but it's an EMP.
Oh, a lot of trade in the middle here as Milgaru is still alive, as no tank for XERO, but both DPSs, you have to trust in the power. Jehu, although, who's going to win off of this Tracer duel? There's that Milgaru wall right behind the wall. The pulse bomb goes wide, so does not really find the perfect target, although he calls back. So this Tracer, a little bit of a help from Kilo off to the side. Okay, that's kind of unfair, but we do have 5v5 for a reason. And that's why XERO's actually going to grab the first point.
It's not Jules. I'm sorry, G-Cliff. It's not just Jules. Oh, no. But yeah, as you said, XERO taking that pretty convincingly there. SPG had so many ultimates, but just couldn't use them, although got a double pulse bomb. But even with that, taking out attack, the two DPS were just left for XERO and completely cleaned up.
Oh, another whip or two!
Fingal, though.
Oh man, that's gonna be incredibly hard. Jehu just finding these kills all over the place, left and right, and oh god, is that the right kill feed that I'm reading? That's so many Jehus, and a lot of SPG members going down.
They didn't even bother capping point for a bit there. They were like, no, we're just going to completely wipe SPG off of the map entirely. Jehu nearly up to I want to say their fourth pulse bomb of this game already. They've just been popping off. Aid is forced onto the Torbjorn.
Oh man, at this rate, I think we need to have some other lockdowns like a Cassidy or something, but SPG trying to run away with things. They do have Torbjorn, so Cheu locked in with another pulse bomb, looking for the target. Look, finally goes down with a headshot from ADE. Okay, Ade doing a lot of work, although finds another kill with the counter pulse bomb here onto the back line. So this time Zero might not be having. Oh, hold on, as attack. Let's get one more before going down at least. SPG.
Jayru's back. I don't think they're going to get anything though, G-Cliff. Nothing will come of it. They will fall back here, but they have that pulse bomb, however. SPG have been playing very well though. Ade now does have the Molten Core for this next fight. However, will it get picked off early here as Kilo going very far forward, but this time, although not to be counted out, was just camping the translocator. Takes out Kilo. So this will be harder for SPG to push in here, but they have enough time just to sit and wait for the rest of Zero to come back here as Captive Sun ready to go as well from Crescent as Jayru pushing in again.
A very hard pressure. 8 goes down along with, actually a Matrix and Captive Sun ready to go for SPG. Finds Sean and also a few more targets from the back line from Zero. Both supports gone from the field, but EMP from Kilo. Would that be enough to turn things around? Not too many targets taken from EMP plus a pulse bomb. But still percentage going up from SPG. Zero, they do need to make the rotation now, as it seems like they do want to contest for the final few percentage. Will they be here in time? Okay, Jayru makes a touch.
They do. Right, they make a touch, and they also have Ant Matrix as well to use for this final fight here. As Milgaru, they do have a minefield if they need to use it, but it's the pulse bomb. Doesn't get much, but it does enough damage. As SPG, it's all coming up them in this point, and it's exactly what they needed to do, G-Cliff. They needed to turn this around. They have that point in their back pocket, and it's evened up 1-1 as we are moving on to Garden, it seems like.
Yeah,
this next one.
What a moment for SPG there.
Yeah,
they didn't really have that many ultimates. Also was able to take away the point at the end, which I think is a big confidence booster. Getting those DPSs early, exactly what they needed. So matching the score 1-1 here, Survasa. As we see Milgaru sneaky plays. Okay, and the driver connects some more extra damage. That's already 50+% from that one movement. This has to be careful of this Milgaru play, but Zero reacting okay. No one falls.
No one falling just yet here, as although starting to wake up a little bit with the help of Ade's Torbjorn. That turret is alive, but not anymore as Ade is Kilo is popping off with that overclock. Ade falling low. No overclock, just a beautiful headshot, forcing SPG away from the point as Zero, they did get first cap there, but SPG coming back with a Captive Sun. As you said, the minefield's nearly online for Milgaru, and Lee Sun Min, is coming back with the Ant Matrix too. So Zero, it's gonna be tough to try and stop this next attack.
Oh man, Kilo's disruption shots in these has been so good, but as we say that, the Captive Sun plus all those tracers does come back very low in HP, but still alive somehow. 12 HP, but the remaining members will be picked off from the others as attack. They'll strike back with the Terra and the Javelin, okay? But
he's still alive! Attack on a 3K there! He does get taken down, G-Cliff, but not after getting it easily, 30% to Zero's name for that objective there. And SPG, that was a struggle to take down Orisa as they have used Ant Matrix. They're not giving up this fight. Milgaru forced to use Minefield on the point there, but Killer can just shoot them away.
Early mine, and with the Tracer. But with the Matrix, SPG might be able to hold with the sustain, as we'll see. Zero still pushing the point. There's attack now. At least we forced all the way in the back, and to attack. These two are finding kills whatsoever. It doesn't matter what SPG is holding. They can just make the push.
SPG, they will not be able to recontest this, at least not well. It will all come down to the SPG now. They cannot lose an objective. They need to bring this back to stay in this series. Aid is back back on a Sojourn, does have Overclock, although as well the Tracer, who is starting to warm up, starting to come alive here, but gotta watch out. Jaewoo and Kilo, of course, they have their ultimates too, as it's pretty evened up in terms of positioning for this next objective, as Jaewoo just scaring Milgaru away from the point there. As oh, this is it. 0-2 to 1.
2-1, and on the match score, on to the grand finals of Korea here, with just one more point on to Servasa. SPG having that early overclock, okay? And Aid responding with Aid's overclock onto the side. No distant kills yet with those two ultimates used. And still, pulse bomb's ready to go. That's a stick, and Uchang goes down early.
That was a very early pick, and of course that's very little healing now. I mean, you still got the bat, but Lee Soon-min has to fall back as they're low themselves. And in terms of that big brother stuff that we were talking about earlier, Lee Soon-min, they need to step up a little bit here. They need to keep SPG alive in this, not just physically, but also just in this match. As Kilo is doing a fantastic job.
Oh man, Papa, it's getting real close. SPG, they need to touch. They need to get those percentages, but they just cannot get close.
Have to win this one.
There's a captain from Uchan, and the field early uses pokes from zero. Pokes from zero is just so immense. The damage output is not the same. Okay, early dead on Hyun, but they catch extra Kilo. Responding back off screen. So many kills happening. This might be it. SPG, member's dead. Has to go over to Sombra. Can they make the touch? 2%.
That's it.
1. No one's on the pole. 0 wins in this playoff day number 2, and they will be our first finalist for day 3.
My goodness, XERO, congratulations there. That was a dominant performance. Whoever is versing you in the finals ought to be quaking in their boots after that show of dominance, that show of skill. I mean, there's no one player really, of course. I mean, there's a player of the match is coming up, but everyone on XERO absolutely popped off, whether it was from attack. Their Orisa was just second to none. You had Crescent as well with some fantastic captive sons. And then, of course, the DPS, who just Jaewoo at wickedly good on the Tracer, Echo, and then oh man, you had Kilo as well with that Sojourn bringing it all up. And there's the answer of which big brother wins. Will be Kilo.
Yeah, will be Kilo. As just full of talent. This entire team had full of support, just keeping DPSs alive, and also attack, drawing a lot of attention, keeping it calm and ready, especially as Orisa. I was really impressed by Attack's Orisa play today. Of course, the 2 DPS, I don't think we need to say more about them because they've shown too much on the screen.
We've said a lot
too much on the kill feed already. And it's kind of crazy how XERO was able to win against SPG with a 3-0 score. I was at least expecting one more game or so. Here is the player of the match. It is Kilo. The godlike play on, especially on that Sojourn, that railgun play.
Yeah.
Disruptor shots from distance, the overclock. Great Overwatch play here.
Yeah,
we have that as a highlight.
Yeah, it's consistently, right? Kilo was able to win fights with their overclock there and open it up for Jaewoo. Like, yes, you saw a lot of Jaewoo on the field, but it wouldn't be without the rail guns. The amount of damage that came out from this Sojourn of Kilo is, man, G-Cliff, the grand finals is going to look so easy if they play like this. I mean, XERO, man, oh man, SPG could not shut down Kilo and of course even Jaewoo as well. As man, they looked incredibly strong. As you said, of course, we would have loved to have seen a little bit more from SPG. I mean, we were talking about it before. The only match that they have lost, SPG, was against Dreamers, and they've done pretty well. Yes, it was 3-2s, but at least they've come out with wins, and then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened here for SPG. They just did not turn up tonight. As yeah, XERO, their reservation that they clearly must have booked for what's the time for me? It's 8 p.m. So 8 p.m. Like, no, we're out. We're gone. We got to get that spaghetti or get the bread, I suppose, in gamer terminology. Goodness gracious. Anyway, yeah, congratulations to Zero.
Yeah, congratulations to Zero. They will be coming offline then for the final day, and let's see if they can handle the pressure and whoever the opponent is going to be. Because coming up next, we will have that match: Poker Face versus Dreamers. Another very exciting match coming up. I don't actually know who's going to come up on top because these two also have some history. And we've seen Poker Face yesterday. They looked indestructible, but we're talking unicorns here, and they can make dreams happen.
Yeah, will Dreamers be the nightmare for Poker Face, or will Poker Face have a royal flush in their hands ready to lay it down? This match will be extremely close. Whether you look at previous scenes or whether you look at this series, both teams are looking so strong. So we'll see them go head to head right after this break.